Dang. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me. Yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 309 of Fourth and Jawn. I'm Gail Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Hearn, Mr. Dan Skippy, Hollis Thomas, and Primo, aka Prime, in the building. Today we're talking the recap, Eagles versus Cowboys. And let me tell you, man, the vibes were immaculate. Starting with a dope ass tailgate, the vibes were flowing. It flowed right into the game. The pregame. You can't go wrong anytime Meek Mill's played in the stadium. But when Meek Mill performs right before the game, I think the level. I look over to my left, I hear Prime. He's like, "Is he in the building? Is he in the building?" So I felt like right from the jump, I think the Eagles really set the tone. Obviously, we wanted a curb stomp. You know, they played a great first half. And I thought Dallas fans in the stadium were very shook. I think Prime was targeting all Dallas Cowboys in our vicinity, letting them know what it's all about. But overall, I just feel like the Eagles, whether you Dallas fans out there like it or not, y'all lost to the Eagles. I don't care if you had the vaunted defense, you had your backup quarterback. Bring a better 53 to the table. You can't keep on crying about if Dak's not in, Dak's not in.
Well, Gil. On the Dak thing, they were making concessions already, talking about Cooper Rush has done some things that Roger Staubach hadn't done. They were already saying that this will be the tell if they need Dak back or not. They were already saying that Cooper Rush had been doing better than Dak. They don't have any excuses. They've tried all the excuses known to man. And the best thing that I saw, you guys were able to go into the game, but I was privy to a bunch of different pictures of Cowboy fans, and the best one, I don't know if I sent it to you guys, but it was a jersey that said "sad since 19" and the number was 96
since
on
96.
the jersey.
I saw that.
Yeah. I saw that. That in a microcosm is everything you're saying, and I wish I was there to see Prime give out some Cowboy noogies. But it's like that said it in a microcosm. And the one thing I didn't tell anybody else this either, because Lito Shepherd had stopped by to see me when he got in town, and he had one of his childhood buddies with him. The jackass came over here, cowboy geared out. I said, "Don't even get out the damn car." I gave Lito what I had to do, and he started talking about the Cowboys, and he did exactly what the Cowboys fans do. Before the game, they talk hot cash money shit. After the game, they're nowhere to be found in sight. I'm going to ask everybody out there: have you heard anything from a Cowboy fan since before the game on Sunday night? I'll leave the floor open to you guys. Have you guys heard anything from anybody who's talking? Wait a minute, Prime. Have you heard from your brother?
No, sir. The thing is that these Cowboy fans go missing. Yesterday I had four Cowboy employees called out of work. 4. All right. And my ass went in that building first thing as soon as I got in there. I did show up to work late. You know what I mean? So I played my cards right, and I called my boss the night before, and I told him, "Hey, listen, I know I'm gonna go ahead and get wild tonight, so you can count me in on being at work, but when I'm ready to come into work." So just giving you a heads up. So the first thing I did was go look for my brother, go look for those Cowboy fans, and I find out that they all called out of work. So
I wonder why.
I definitely redeemed myself today. I had my flag with me, and I let them know that we are 6-0. All right, 6-0. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be Dallas sucks.
Yeah. Love the hat. Love the energy.
Shout out to my boy Die Hard Philly.
Hey, what do you got to say about that? Yeah, about the Die Hard Philly guy. Show him your hat.
I got a tie dye. This is representing the You know,
I like the fit, man. I like the fit. I had
like
mine
it.
on Sunday.
I'm just teasing you because of what we were talking about beforehand.
well,
But
Ev, I see you got Sixers on. I see you, and you got Phillies on. So, Ev, you're representing the Sixers tonight. But
I mean,
how you feeling, man?
it was somewhat of a toss up, man, because the Eagles obviously are number one in my heart, but Sixers are my number two team, man. I wanted to sit here. I'm all in on the Phillies bandwagon right now. I can't wait to after we jump off of here and we watching that Phillies Padres game. But man, the Sixers really got the the special spot in my heart next to the Eagles, dude. So really excited for this next season for the Sixers, and just wanted to show off my colors, bro. I'm excited. I'm excited for the new year.
Well, yeah, if you, I'm truly excited, basically, because this is the first time in a while, actually, since I've been in the city, that all the sports are actually doing pretty decently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the first time since I've been here that the Sixers are starting the season, and the Phillies are still playing.
Right. I mean,
and then let's not forget the Flyers. They start off 2-0. Everybody says that they're going to be stinking up the joint, but right now they're kicking ass, and I think the winning is permeating throughout the city. So,
yeah,
and I know it's going to fall on deaf ears in this podcast as well. But the
so?
Union
Union
are the best team in the MLS.
Yes, the Union. My bad.
So
I keep
that
wanting
as
to
well.
call them the Soul. The Philadelphia Union. They actually have a playoff game as well coming up.
Yes, they do.
So
Andre Blake in goal.
Hey.
You know, the funny thing is, like, there's this vibe. You know, the Phillies set it off. They set off the tone because I was at Xfinity Live and people were going ape-ish out
Are you
there.
talking about
and
the Phillies set the tone that day, or the Phillies set the tone?
Well, I mean, they set the tone. They set the tone for this weekend. Moving into the Eagles game, they just flowed right into the game, and I felt like from the very jump, I felt again like we started our podcast last week, and I was started off very confident. I never backed off what I said. I felt that vibe, and I felt like the Eagles kind of came out and set the tone. I mean, from the first half, what was your guys' biggest takeaways from the first half?
So I've been saying to people for weeks that it was after we beat Jacksonville and we were 4-0, and I said to them, I was like, do not let us go into this bye 6-0. I will be on the verge of insufferable, and here I am. And I got to tell you, after that first half, I was a level above insufferable, man. We were whooping the Cowboys' ass. We were sitting there 6-0 in the right in front of us, and I never, even though we started to waver a little bit in the third quarter, I never for a moment thought we were going to lose that game. I know it got to 20-17 at one point.
Yeah,
I never feared for a moment that we were going to lose that game. And that's what's special about this Eagles team to me is that I haven't had that feeling like we're going to throw this one away this entire season. This is a team that is built to win and just continues getting better. I think the craziest thing to me is that I haven't seen an Eagles team that is this dominant, but at the same time, like each and every game, they're leaving money on the table, man. They haven't played to their full potential all year long, and they're 6-0. And so that to me, that is foreshadowing for what's to come. When the Eagles are able to take this bye week, work together, get healthy, they're going to come back just rolling, man. I don't see a loss in our near future, man. I really don't.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say about the loss part, Ev. And the buzzsaw is coming back from the bye week. It's always been the last time we were 6-0, I was on the team, and the buzzsaw has always been the Steelers, and that's the buzzsaw we're coming back to. If we're able to get past, like you're saying, if we're able to get past that, then Mal,
yeah, he's on to something.
Mal may be on to not only Mal on to something, but Larry Zonka. You know, Larry Zonka. They having a 50th anniversary this week of the only unbeaten team ever in the NFL. He said he's sweating in his shoes right now because the Eagles are currently employing the same formula that they use to get to that to be the only unbeaten team ever with power running game and play action pass and getting it done on defensively and offensively the way we're getting it done. So they have a bottle of champagne each year that they wait to pop and they pop that bottle of champagne after the last unbeaten team is beaten. He's kind of sweating right now. I heard him do an interview the other day because they actually going to do the thing this week with the 50th anniversary. Rest Don Shula, who calls Bill Belichick, rest his soul. But that's one of the things that Mal may have been onto something, maybe onto something here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy, man. When you look at the schedule, it kind of sets it up for that. But just talk about Jalen Hurts and his performance on Sunday, 155 yards passing on the ground. He put in 27, but he did for you hating ass running touchdown. People hating against those scores. He did have 2 touchdown passes, one to AJ Brown and one to Devontae Smith. I think his performance, like, you start seeing that the trickery, how the triple option of what they're doing, the RPOs, they are putting defenders in a blender. They are picking. You could say one of these. You say pigeons out there, like
pigeons,
you have to play. You have to play sound technique and be very disciplined out there. The way that they're deploying, Jalen Hurts out there. You look at Micah Parsons. Obviously, Micah Parsons has been very phenomenal over the last couple of years, but they were leaving that man unblocked, and they were had guards pulling. He was getting punched in the mouth by even your boy Suamalu. They had a lot of guards pulling, and I think they had him in a blender. I like that play from AJ Brown. He had him. He's like, do I go after Jalen or do I go after AJ Brown? They set him up. What do you guys think of that?
Wait.
I mean, regardless on however he played his scheme that night, he didn't have his best game against us. These Cowboy fans are, speaking like, oh, he got lucky. He was doing his thing on that at the end of the game. Think about what you're saying. Think about what you said. That was when Lane Johnson went down. When Lane Johnson wasn't in there, Michael Parsons was making a difference. If Lane Johnson had stayed in that game the whole game, bro, you weren't going to hear Michael Parsons' name at all, because he was shutting that shit down. Mm-hmm. All right, these guys, Ev, you talk about like in that third quarter, you didn't have nothing to worry about. Well, bro, being in that building, and Gail could vouch for this, I was losing my mind seeing those guys coming back, and because it was off the same fucking play. The same play. They kept running the same play on us. Yeah. And that shit was upsetting. Like, all I kept on thinking about is Gannon. Like, all the shit Hollis says about Gannon, all the shit the followers say about Gannon, all the shit that we say about Gannon. Like, yo, just get it together. Shut this shit down. Like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't understand. I mean, it was a bootleg. Yeah. Whether if it was to the right, to the left, it just kept on happening. It kept on. I mean, bro, not for nothing. The past 2 weeks, I've counted 17 attempts, 16 successful plays against us on the bootleg. Yeah, and that shit really needs to get. That was my only worry. I told myself, we are not losing this game, but we gotta fix this shit. We gotta fix this shit. And I was snapping on Gannon. And I mean,
this man was mad as hell, bro. I had to calm him down.
He did have to calm me down. And then the Cowboy fan that I'm trolling the whole damn night. You know what I mean? It gave him the opportunity to talk shit to me. So that's why it pissed me off even more. Because he's like, yo, you quiet now. You know what I mean? You quiet. And I'm like, I'm here. You're right. You know what I mean? But we came back. Hold on. We came back and we ran that ball down their throats. You know what I mean? To go ahead and get that finalized touchdown on them. And I tell you what, my man, yo, he wasn't ready for me, because all I kept on was like, yo, where you at? You know what I mean? Like, I don't hear you now. And everybody with the Dallas sucks. And then I had as soon as they stopped, I'm like, yo, I think they talking to you. You know what I mean? I think they talking to you. But it was a great night, man. I mean, it was just like the momentum, especially in that first half. That place was off the chain, and that's what helped, because we kept them. We kept the momentum throughout the whole game. The whole game, the place was just electric, and you know what I mean. I know that played a big part that night.
The part that I didn't like was we didn't have our gap integrity, and that's what you're talking about. We kept on getting out of our gaps versus the run, and I felt like it was due to the guys' pad level. My guys up front, the pad level, and them not recognizing it's sometimes the coach can't do much on bootlegs. As a defensive line, as a defensive front, you have to see what we call elephants on parade. Elephants on parade is when they give you that fake ass play action fake, but they're not leaving the line of scrimmage because he's going to come out of there. You have to see that them going right down the line of scrimmage instead of coming off and hitting you. I felt like our pad level was so damn high, and they've been not Dak, but what's the boy's name? Ezekiel Elliott. The tackles we were missing on him. I just felt like it was just like I'm like, come on, we needed to run some run blitzes, which would have took us to stop it. That's what it's going to take to stop the play action fake and the bootleg setup. I just didn't like the way that we were deployed against the run. And you're correct, Jonathan Gannon didn't do anything in that drive, but I felt like the secondary was going to make some adjustments, which came about on the third pick. You saw the adjustments that my safety he came up and he made that pick. When you look at it, the thing that I think that galvanized this game and let me know that they were not going to beat us was the first two picks in the first half. You come out and you throw those type of picks early on, it puts your team behind the 8 ball. And the other part, I know my boy Andrew is watching. Andrew Hurst, he said this. He said what they did to Michael Parsons was they made him just like everybody else. And they treated him just like everybody else. We didn't make concessions to put 2 or 3 people on him. And then when we was blocking everybody else, they was like, well, this is where Micah normally makes the play. No, we treated that chump just like the rest of y'all. He was a chump just like y'all, and we kicked y'all ass up and down the field. I had no concession. I knew when they scored that they didn't have it. Their defense didn't have an answer for what we were doing to them. Like you said, Michael Parsons had to make a decision. He had to make a decision whether to come get the quarterback or drop back because he could try to keep up with the real number 11, but he wasn't gonna do that. He wanted the quarterback. So it was never. I never wavered against us kicking their ass because they don't know how to close and they were just going to make excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. So
if there's one thing that I can just shed some light on to maybe ease the pain of us hating on Jonathan Gannon right now, and don't get me wrong, that was pathetic what happened in the third quarter with that coach.
12-point drive, really?
Yeah, but let's look at this. The Eagles' defense, the last 5 straight opponents have held their opponents to 17 points or fewer. 7 points, 8 points, 14 points, 17 points, 17 points, respectively. It has been since 2009 since they had a 5-game stretch where they did the same feat. So, I mean, listen, I understand that the way that the game was played out, it seemed like we were losing it at one point. But I got to tell you, man, this defense, Hollis, it's been solid the past. I'm not.
What I'm saying is, I never felt like we were losing it.
No, yeah.
It just the drives come at a to me at a weird part of the game.
Right.
But it's kind of like this, and me and Hugh Douglas used to talk about this on the sideline every time. It's like we know that they're going to make a bit of a not even a run, but they're going to get some stuff going together. The other team is paid as well to play. We just got to minimize what they do. We got to put our foot in their ass, and then the offense has got to turn around and back us up. That's what a team is about. I was glad that the offense came out there and put their foot in their ass like they did to give the defense time to recoup and to see what went wrong. Because you see, when we came right back after, we were able to get a pick right away because they tried to go back to the well too many times, the same thing. And our defensive line was able to make some concessions and make him throw faster than he wanted to, which made him throw the floppy disc. And my boy and my boy Chauncey get his third interception. So
exactly. That brings me up to my next point is that I think the elephant in the room this entire year is the turnover differential. I mean, you look at the Eagles are plus 12 right now. We have 9 interceptions, 5 fumble recoveries, and we have 2 interceptions that we have thrown. So that's plus 12. The next closest team in turnover differential is plus 4. So that to me is the biggest stat of the entire year so far. The Eagles are winning these games because this defense is creating turnovers. I mean, what's that?
Yeah, I mean
the DBs, the secondary.
Exactly.
We didn't have the same kind of secondary last year.
And I love what
it's showing.
And I love what Deshae says here, where he's talking about C.J. Gardner-Johnson has 3 interceptions. The Saints that gave him away, they have one as a
One.
team.
Yeah.
Howie is the man.
That's very key, man.
And
During the offseason,
I got sorry, guy. I don't want to cut you off, but I just have to finish by saying
Good.
CJ is growing into one of my favorite Eagles quickly on this squad, man. Not only is he a baller out on the field, I just love his mentality, dude. I love when in the post-game press conference and he's being asked about his hand. He's like, "Nah, don't worry about it. I'll be fine. I'll be fine."
Exactly.
Dude just wants to go out there and win.
Exactly.
I love that.
And that was the one thing that I was really, excited about, and I appreciated the fact that he didn't sat out. He found a way to come back into that game. I mean, bro, when Kayvon Wallace was
He
out
avoided getting X-rays.
I
My thought process was he didn't get X-rays on purpose because they would have been like, "Nah, you can't go back in."
Yeah, you can't go back in.
Yeah.
But listen, when Kayvon Wallace is in there again, Gail could vouch. I'm losing my shit, bro. The way he's running the route to make the tackle and everything, miss the tackle. It was just like,
angle pursuit
his
was
angle
way off.
pursuit was horrible.
God awful.
Where was Reed
horrible.
Blankenship, man? Like I would have rather seen him out there than Kayvon Wallace.
Yeah, what happened to Reed? I thought he was.
I don't know.
He has better angles than Kayvon. I was like, I think Chauncey saw that too. He's like, oh man, we got this clown out there. I don't need an X-ray. I'm going back out.
Yeah. To go back to the Ed's point, just a bit being about like this defense, man. This defense during the offseason, it's one of the things that I mentioned about like, and Fletcher Cox had made mention of it about getting those opportunities for offense. They knew last season they didn't give enough opportunities as a defense for their offense. And now that they're doing it, I feel like it's a perfect scenario for Jalen Hurts, the guy who can you give him a couple extra couple more drives. It's and it's been showing. Like you get these defenses tired, they get them in a blender. By the end of the fourth quarter, they're just doing the same thing over and over. Look, you go back to Detroit. You go back to Arizona in the fourth quarter. Now you go back to this game. Perfect opportunity to just let them know what it's all about. Let them know what this running game's all about. That takes the will away from some of these defenses, And I feel like as we go on and on, I'm looking at the matchups and I'm like, we match up supremely well against these other teams coming in, and that's where. I'm feeling great.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, you talk about the clamps we talked about.
Right.
Darius Slay and Bradbury are playing phenomenal ball out there. I feel like there's more
to
that
back
too, man. I mean, can we talk about yet another elephant in this room that no one is addressing? And that is the fact that I mean, like, how hyped were we that we drafted Nakobe Dean? And then, like, who comes off the field right now to put Nakobe Dean in? These linebackers are absolutely balling right now. When was the last time as Philadelphia Eagles fans, we've looked at our linebackers and be like, man, we're too deep? When does that ever happen? Like, dude, that is a phenomenal problem to have.
All right, a good problem to have. Exactly.
Nakobe's in the bullpen right now getting warmed up.
Dude, and I have no doubt that if Nakobe needs to be leaned on for injury purposes or whatever, that he can step in and it'll be seamless.
Yep.
Jordan Davis getting warmed up.
Yeah, Jordan Davis is getting warmed up a little bit. It's like just like I was saying, the angles that Kayvon Wallace was taking, I still don't know why we kept him over the other guy, but I feel like when he gets in there, he just can't get. He's been trying, but he just doesn't get it. And the other part of it was I feel like my guys up front, the pad levels get too high, especially interior guys. The pad levels get too high because a lot of times we get into this rut of a team passing all the time. And so instead of playing the run first, you play the run on your way to the pass, but you still got to destroy the blocker in front of you. And we're not using our hands, getting off the blocks violently. Like I was telling you guys, I wanted the young guys to employ. The only one that's really doing it is number 95. You see him making a lot of plays, and that's why.
And he's in there, and his playing time is by far like way up there, and it's just like, wow. I mean, he is definitely a playmaker. He definitely makes a difference on that line. Watching him play on Sunday, making he was doing his thing. So I know we've been questioning what's going on. Is he the go-to guy? Like we've been seeing him a whole lot. yo, he's answering our questions on a weekly basis because he is doing his thing. So I'm all for it.
Didn't answer our questions and talk to prospect.
He didn't answer y'all questions and when.
Talk to prospect. We tried to get him lined up for an interview before he got drafted, but
Yeah.
we weren't able to get things lined up.
Yeah.
Can't get them all. Can't get them all.
I know. It's okay.
Now, going to
Yes,
your
we got free
offensive,
Yep.
yeah, two Pelotu.
Yeah. He's a cool
going
kid.
to-
I like him.
Going to your offensive MVP for this game, who would that be? We'll start with Hollis. Who's your offensive MVP?
Man, the offensive MVP is got to be the player of the offensive line. When you look at it, it was a tall order because if you look at the way that the Cowboys have been playing, the defensive line, especially Michael Parsons, the defense they were talking crap. D-Law, you saw all the pictures of us standing over DeMarcus Lawrence talking about we them boys. You saw number 97 get pissed off because he was getting drugged, and then he jumps up after the whistle and tackles Kelsey. I was like, if you used that same energy throughout the play, maybe you wouldn't have got your ass kicked. So my MVP is the offensive line for kicking their ass. Even when my boy Lane Johnson went out, we said the offensive line still stood up and they just whooped them like cornbread batter. It's like you don't get the 26 points that we got. You don't get them without putting Michael Parsons on, because I say it like this. The Cowboys' last game against the Rams, one of the very first few plays, tackle sack, forced fumble, touchdown. The defense is all because of the defensive line without blitzing, and we took that same defense and we kicked their ass, our offensive line, and I still feel like without them, there is no us.
I mean, I'm with Tank here, man. I'm like the ball was spread around kind of evenly. I mean, Jalen Hurts for 155 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a great game, but like if I'm really looking at this, it's not the offensive line to me. It's specifically Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson held his own against Micah Parsons, absolutely dominated him, and then you just saw what difference it was when he gets out of the game. So that to me, just seeing that stark difference between when he's in and when he's out, it truly proved to me what an impact Lane Johnson made on that game.
I mean, we talked about Lane Johnson and his lack of respect that he gets across the league sometimes, and you saw it. You saw it handily. I think Driscoll, and he comes in and gives you valuable snaps off the bench, but at times he did have trouble against Micah, and that's to be understood.
You know what? Somebody tried to try me when they brought Big Clinton back and had him up. And I was like, they was talking about he was better than Jack Driscoll. I was like, in what multi-universe? you see who they put in there when he went down. Yep. Nobody has confidence in that kid. He's just on the team because he's a first-round draft pick. That's it. They don't want to be wrong. They don't want to give him away for nothing. Because pretty soon somebody's going to need an offensive lineman, and Howie will be there just like this. Here's your candy wrap piece of shit. I mean,
I wish Hollis would stop calling me Big Pudding. Quite frankly, I don't enjoy it or appreciate it. I got a little thug life in me, and you'll see it.
Would have been playing already.
I love how Hollis just powered through and kept on talking while he was speaking.
I will power through it.
So did you give your offensive MVP?
So, mate, no. I mean, I know you guys gave it to the offensive line, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with the three-headed monsters, man. Scott, Gainwell, Miles Sanders. That last drive played a big factor. Yes, it had a lot to do with that offensive line, but those guys, they went 110% on every time that ball was handed to them. All three of them went straight in and did their things. I don't care if it was 3-4 yards. All that shit totaled up, and it got us that last touchdown. That I'm really grateful for, because they came together and they played their asses off on that last drive. So those three were my offensive MVPs. The way they finished that last drive off.
That's nice. That is a quality point. What do you got, Gil?
So we had offensive line. Ab, you had who?
Lane Johnson.
Lane Johnson. You had the running back. I'll go with the wide receivers. the wide receivers, I'd say are 1A and 1B. At the end of the day, when you try to lock down AJ Brown, you got Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith will eat up your number 2. So I feel like week in and week out, those guys have been they just set the tone, man. Like how are you gonna cover those dudes? How who are you gonna cover? Like how are you gonna cover those dudes?
Devontae and AJ, it's lights out. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Quez is kind of a Robin, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I don't know about how much Robin it is.
I'm just saying, bro. What like he has the speed that you have to, like, the defense has to respect it, and it has the ability to stretch the field. But realistically, with the ball in his hands, he hasn't done much this year.
Well, I'm gonna say he's a role. Yeah, I think he's a role player. So I mean, in actuality, we know
Robin was a role player.
We know that AJ. We know that AJ and Devontae are the Batmans. But
the point was of what Darius said is we have no Robins on this team. I'm just saying, yeah, we do.
If you ask Jaquez, is he a Robin? What do you think he's gonna say?
Of course he's going to say no. He's going to say, F you, Evan, you're a dumbass podcaster. You don't know shit.
Exactly.
Who never played the game.
So he's going to come here. What if he comes to the tailgate? He's like, Evan, your cheesesteak is a Robin amongst the Batmans. Or you'd be upset, right?
Yeah, but I mean, your
cheesesteak is a Batman. Your cheesesteak is a Batman.
How much money do I get paid to make cheesesteaks?
Your cheesesteak is the Batman, okay? Amongst us.
But that's what makes everybody Batman on this squad, is because they feel like they should be number one. And when you build a team with this type of competition at every position, except for Kevon Wallace and obviously Big Puddin'. Everybody, and when you ask everybody who's Batman, who's Robin, I'm Batman, and not in the sense where I don't know where I am Batman. So
shout out to Prime this week. He brought me down to this like swap meet flea market thing. This dude Prime knows if you need something, Prime can get it for you. So he brought me to the space, had everything. Just you ask him, DM him where the place is. But I found a Batman for like $10. I'm gonna customize this into a swole Batman.
He's already swole. What do you mean? Wait, pretty swole.
Well, the swole Batman. The swole Batman. You know who swole Batman is, right? AJ Brown.
AJ, yeah.
So if you're just gonna put the 11 on him, I mean, it's not many more muscles you can put on there. I'm just saying.
We're gonna put the 11 on it, and then we're gonna change the face.
Gail, just tell them.
Change the
stay
face.
tuned. Just tell them.
Stay tuned.
Okay, stay tuned. So you're gonna paint the face brown? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Brother Batman. We can't have a black Batman around
here. Sure we can. Have at it.
So going on.
Everybody keeps keeping me watching the baseball game and the basketball game at the same damn time.
So who's your defensive MVP, Mr. Defensive Guy?
Let me see.
Hollis?
I got to go with Chauncey. 3 picks, right place, right time. It was, he only had 2.
Yeah,
he had 3 on the year. Too.
Yeah, it's 3 for the year, but 2 in
Who
that
got the third pick?
Darius
Slay.
A big play. Oh yeah,
and
but you got to get. Yeah, well he got the game clinching pick. So and then he got the other pick that was clutch. You really got to give it to him because we didn't really have to do it that much else because we were just kicking their ass so bad. But the turnovers, the first 2 turnovers were the key. So, but I give it to him because he got that last turnover when just like Prom said, they went to that same shit again, that fucking bootleg, and he caught the second guy coming across. So Chauncey, and that is CJ.
I think, I agree with Hollis. I mean, there's really no other answer you can give it to than Chauncey. I mean, he left it all out on the line. The way he came back from injury, inserts himself back in the game, and then gets himself another pick afterwards. I mean, you really can't overlook that. But I do want to just show some love to TJ Edwards, who was just flying all over the field, man. I mean, 14 combined tackles. Dude was absolutely balling, man. And, I just don't want him to get lost in the mix, but Chauncey Gardner is definitely the defensive MVP.
My guy, man, I got to say, and I know you guys already gave it to 2 defensive backs, but I'm going to throw a third person in there. He made a play, and I mean, I lost my shit the way the play was handled, and that was Marcus Epps. I don't know if you guys saw the one pass that he dove and ended up.
Yeah, the pass deflection. It was great play.
I have not seen these guys play like that in a minute. I have not seen the defensive backs play like that in a minute. And the way that man made an attempt to go ahead and knock that ball down, I was ecstatic. And then I said to Gail, and I was like, I'm screaming the whole damn time. Now that's a play right there. That's what I'm talking about. So it was just like, it was that play, and then just seeing him, how he was hustling the whole game. I mean, he was shutting shit down his damn self. I mean, I know he didn't have a pick, and that definitely would have set him to the top, but he didn't need all that. He played his game a different way, and he played a big factor in that. So my defensive MVP was going to Marcus Epps.
I was saying to call him Marcus Tips on that play. I was like,
Marcus Tips. And he was trying his hardest to go ahead and tweet that out, man.
Wi-Fi is dead in there, bro.
Yeah,
Wi-Fi is dead in there.
Well, you have to use your own. You have to use your own Wi-Fi.
Oh, we were trying all different types of shit.
Trying everything.
Yeah.
So my defensive MVP obviously got to go CJG. He mentioned in the presser today, just talked about some maturity things and how the coach spoke to him about, and how he's kind of honed into the group. I feel like he said being around the guys, it's kind of really, just made him hone into who he is as a player as well. Like I feel like you're around Bradbury, you're around Slay. I think Epps has elevated his game to all the Epps haters that were out there. I think he's showing you what he's made of. Chauncey was the guy that, people were like, well, why are you so excited about Chauncey? I'm like, bro, I've wanted Chauncey since the draft day. You can go check the tweets when he was on the board, when guys like Clayton Thorson were there. Like Chauncey, just to see him here, I asked for guys on the back end with range. He showed you that range on that interception after, going back to Ev's point, being hurt and all, you didn't see it. So hat tip to Chauncey. I think he was also talking about Meek Mill and how that was his favorite rapper, and how just seeing that Meek Mill was just performing at a game. He said, how crazy is that? Like going back to Hollis's point last week, talking about what Ray Rhodes told you about having guys come in.
No, but that was different. We had Michael Buffer come in. Meek Mill is from here. Meek Mill has been with the team before, so it wasn't a surprise to me that he was there. That if Michael Buffer is not from Philly, Michael Buffer is some random motherfucker who had a catchphase.
He's an Eagles fan though, isn't he?
Who, Michael Buffer?
Yeah.
Who's playing against the Cowboys? I don't know.
Did you know Michael Buffer was at Michael Buffer was at the game too?
Yeah, he was wearing Eagles gear. Yeah.
You sure?
It was funny. 100%. He was on the sideline. He was doing a gritty. He was doing a gritty dance. I was like,
"Are you gonna say sorry?"
Fuck no, but I'm say you were right. What can I say sorry for? It's like if he was that cool, man. I didn't know that he was a Eagles fan, because they probably now, because he used to he gets $1 million for saying his catchphrase each time he says it. so they paid him. That was what it was hot in Let's Get Ready to Rumble, the video game and stuff. It came out on the not so popular Dreamcast. What the fuck is that? Really?
Hey, he's doing the gritty. It was his version of doing the gritty.
The gritty.
It's the 75-year-old white man's version of the gritty. Come on.
But he was there.
He was there. That was horrible too.
He was there. He was there.
I stand corrected.
Todd from ATL chimes in. He says he was there.
Yeah, it's like the funny thing is, at the time when we were playing against the Cowboys, even though he might have been there, he made concessions to come all the way to Philly and to say his catchphrase. And then as soon as after he said his catchphrase, Ray said, "Fat T, we about to get our ass whooped." Anytime you break out all the bells and whistles.
Jerry Jones paid that. Jerry Jones covered that bill that day, so we were good.
Yeah, probably more than likely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You know who also was there? Shout out to Todd, who's commenting right there. We bumped into Todd outside the game.
Yeah, that was cool.
Me and Prime.
Tailgate Pro.
He got in. He got in late, man. He got in late. He was pretty bummed out about that.
Yeah. I was over at the Gatehouse watching the game
sipping on private stock, sipping on private stock and stuff. Props to
No, so going back to the tailgate though, man. I have to say that was going down there. That was the craziest I have ever seen. The stadium like that.
Not me.
That dude, I'm telling you. I mean, I've been going.
We're talking about getting in there.
I'm
Like,
talking
it
about
was
getting
crazy.
in.
in
I'm
there.
talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
getting in.
Getting in there.
Like
yeah.
Oh, God.
down at the stadium.
What-
I'm
what-
talking
what-
about
what-
5
yeah.
hours, 6 hours prior to kickoff. You
What-
weren't
what
able,
time-
like they shut down the lot. You weren't
Yeah,
able
what
to
time-
get in.
What time did you guys go? Because I went down at 4, and the lot was packed. I'm sorry. And
two.
you know I was.
No,
going.
I was
I got-
I was in the line at like 11:30.
Damn.
Yeah,
Does
that's
it-
what I'm saying. The at 2:00, you were not able to get into the Wells Fargo lot in any entrance. I tried, and the
Damn.
entire lot was packed. I have
Our
never seen it like
DJ
that.
had-
I had to park across in the Phillies lot and carry a fucking grill and a gas tank. And thank you, Prime, for helping me.
Yeah, okay, just making sure.
Yeah, but dude, that freaking sucked. I'm not making that mistake again.
Our DJ had, shout out to Lowski.
Yeah, I was like, I'm.
Lowski had to pay $100 to slip $100 bill to one of the security guys to get in. Like,
Wow.
I was like, bro, come on, man. It wasn't even that late.
But
I think
when I drove by the Wells Fargo lot, I drove by at about 4:15. It was already jam packed, and it was campers and everything set up, dude. I posted a small video of it. I was like, damn, the game it's still not for 4 hours.
That's
and
what I mean.
Everything was already set up, and I could see some people were already sauced.
Oh yeah.
well, shout out to Puga. Puga's a real MVP because he's the guy that held down the spots. I said, get out of the car. I was like, he ran over there, sprinted over there, held the spots. Shout out to Chris from VA, who also was down there early. We had made cones that we could put out there.
Yeah.
Bro, the real MVPs. Shout out to Puga back in El Paso. It was good to see you guys. It was crazy, man. That was dope. It was a dope tailgate. I mean, there's also shout out to a lot of you guys that are in the comments that showed up and showed support. You know, there was Adam.
Shout out to everybody for making it a shit show for the Cowboys.
Exactly.
and all the Cowboy lovers.
Shout out to
of
one of the real MVPs of the day too, in Jennifer Slay, because I had a cheesesteak line like no other. I'm talking like 50, 60 people deep, and I did not have 50, 60 sandwiches to hand out. As soon as the last of the cheesesteaks were cooked, and I turned to the people, I was like, listen, I got nothing left. In walks Jennifer Slay with an entire tray of banana pudding. So I just kind of pushed that entire line over to her, and I was like, they're your problem now.
So I'm trying to serve banana pudding with a plastic spoon. I was like, bro, we need to get some utensils, some 4th and Jawn utensils.
Then you ask me for the spatula, and I'm like, this thing's all onioned up, bro.
And he's asking me for the knife, and I'm like, we're doing cheesesteaks over here. Come on, man. What do you want to do?
I didn't have that problem, but I went over and I got some of the most tender, delicious from the Calf Barbecue guy kid.
Shut up.
He had some tender, delicious pulled pork that he had slow roasted for 8 hours. And they also had that. I don't know if you guys have had his. He takes Cheez-Its and goldfish and smokes them on the barbecue pit with some seasoning. Changed my life. You need to check that shit out. It's delicious.
Really?
Trust me. Yes. And I was.
That sounds like a recipe Lil Lucky would come up with.
Evan, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yeah, give me this shit.
Yeah. Good, huh?
Damn.
So is he using it as like the breading for like?
No,
like...
he's not using any breading. He's putting it on like a steel tray on the smoker and putting it on the pit, and then kind of like cooking it, and then sprinkling he's got some type of barbecue seasoning. He smokes into it and makes it delicious.
I gotta try it out.
But he had pulled pork that he had slow roasted for 8 hours. So, but then there was another company came in with some tender, delicious ribs that would fall off the bone, delicious.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to. I may be trying to speak this into existence, but coming back from the bye week, Juggernaut Alex Levine, friend of the show, he was feeling a lot of FOMO, not attending that tailgate. He was telling me, "Man, I got to come to the next one." So who knows? Might have some more good eats 2 weeks.
Tender, delicious meats.
Yeah. Pause. But He said,
That's your favorite word, delicious, man.
well, tender and delicious.
I'm gonna call
but
you. I'm gonna start calling you delicious.
No. What if I'm down the street? What if I'm down the street and you got to yell that out? You gonna call
Hey.
another man delicious?
Hey.
Yo, G, delicious.
Delicious. Come over here. Try some of this meat.
Nah, but it was the coolest thing was I didn't go in the game like you guys did, but watching the game and you could just feel like I could hear the stadium behind me, so you could like feel all the energy coming out, and you want that when you're playing a Cal Turd team, especially the part that I think some people think that my animosity is misplaced, but when you constantly talk about a mediocre team that gets their ass kicked on a year in and year out basis. And they constantly put them up at the forefront and try to call them America's team. As I switch shades with my the American team is the Eagles. As I switch to my with the eagle above me, because the bird is the United States bird, the state bird. But they always make concessions and found a way to talk about these bums. And Helen, that's right. Des Bryant lost a bunch of money. And he should have lost a bunch of money with his punk ass.
Let's go 1-0. Let's go.
Hey, see, I knew I wasn't the only motherfucker watching the Sixers. And
no, not at all, bro. Not at all. This is what we do, man.
So everybody, we just got nice. Oh, man. I had the exit velocity on that. Whoa.
Oh man, see now you're gonna make me. I'm trying to do a
losing
podcast and
losing focus.
do a shut in. No, it's good vibes, man. It's good vibes, man. This is what it's about, bro.
Somebody said, "Why do you have on the shades?" I was like, "So you can't see my eyes peering at the TV."
But man,
because the pitcher that we're going against currently, he's one of those top-notch aces. But we just took him to the yard.
That's it.
I mean, they were talking about on the radio on 97.5 just the other day that if you think about, like, we might be entering a era of Philadelphia sports that we haven't seen for decades, man. He was talking about the era essentially from 76 to 84.
Yeah.
When the Flyers, they had their Stanley Cup wins. The Phillies, they won the World Series in 80. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl in 80. The Sixers end up winning the championship in the early 80s. Dude, I mean, like the way that all of these teams are trending up, I feel like we're in gearing up for a once in a lifetime type of event going on here, man. The Roaring 20s. We're back.
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to go ahead and make all my time for all of these
parades.
Coming, bro.
Just don't run out of cheesesteaks.
I said that on Twitter the other day. I was like, listen, there was people that were upset after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, just talking how Eagles fans are insufferable, blah blah blah. Don't let us win 2 championships in 1 year.
Don't let us go. Don't let us go.
Don't let us win 3. I'm telling you, you will never hear the end of it.
Don't let us go undefeated. Don't let us win the Super Bowl. Don't let us win the World Series. Don't let us win the NBA championship. It's going to be endless.
I think any fan base right now, though. I think any fan base. If you look at it, but I take that back. We would be insufferable if we go undefeated and win a title, and then we make.
You think I'm going to shut the hell up until the next Super Bowl? I won't. I don't care if we don't win a game the following year. I'm not sure.
I would commit to wear Eagles gear for the rest of my life.
Ev's gonna come on the pod eating horse shit. He's gonna be the new horse shit guy.
Man.
Did you guys see the AJ Brown? They interviewed him after, and he just kind of like it's just nice to hear players just talk about the atmosphere of playing in front of Philly fans, the environment, the passion level. He talked about being in this atmosphere. He's like, it was like a playoff type event. He's like, I have never played in such an event. This guy's played in some playoff games, and he's like, you could just see the look on his face. And I think that's a hat tip to all you Eagle fans out there, man. Super passionate.
I mean, like let's call a spade here. When it's great, it's great. When it's bad, it's bad. All of the players right now are basking in the glory, and they should be, because every one of these teams is playing well. But we let them hear it as soon as that doesn't happen, man.
But that's the beauty of it, but that's the beauty of it. If you're a player and you can play, you know when they're booing, when the fans boo, y'all got something to boo about. Y'all not just booing just for the hell of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but when you give them something to cheer about, they will cheer you on to kingdom come.
So
go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. So I remember very specifically the first game after we won the Super Bowl. We played the Atlanta Falcons. We came out slow in the first half. They got booed into the tunnel.
Right.
The first game after winning the Super Bowl. Warranted or not warranted as next player?
Warranted.
Good.
This is a what have you done for me lately league. The fuck if you dude, it's kind of like we were talking before the show, and I still don't know how the fuck that the Denver Broncos got 3 primetime games this early in the fucking season.
Oh my god, I think they got 5 total. It's absurd.
And they stink. And the thing is a lot of people are talking about what's wrong with Russell Wilson, what's wrong with the team and stuff. But you see the guys in the locker room, Russell, he comes with a lot of accolades. He didn't get those accolades there. You have to prove it now. You have to prove that you still got it. You haven't done shit yet. You haven't done shit in a Denver Broncos uniform. And that's what you have to prove yourself to the fans year in and year out. Y'all spending hard-earned fucking money to come watch our goofy ass play a game. And if you can't get your ass out the club, off the strippers, off
you think Russell Wilson's messing around with strippers? Come on. He's a holy roller.
Okay. And I've seen a lot of holy rollers. And I've seen them in the wrong place, in the wrong capacity, sir. Remember who his wife is.
That's true.
Yo,
he's got great taste. He's got great taste.
I want to answer some of these questions. A lot of people are asking, if I'm ready for all these parades. Let me make something real clear. You guys see my big boy back here. That's where it all started. But yes, I am ready for every single parade. You see the Phillies one here. All right. You see the Phillies one here. All right. You see the Sixers one here. Sixers one is here.
I like that.
Yep,
okay.
I like that.
And then I got Jason asking me about a Stanley Cup. Let me tell you something, man. I've been trying my hardest to get into the hockey. Or I'm trying to convince the 4th and Jawn to get into hockey. You know what I mean?
You don't like hockey?
I am always ready.
Oh,
right? As you can see, I am always ready.
You're not into hockey?
It's not that I'm not into hockey. It's just of the 4 major sports, it's just my least favorite. I mean,
come on, we ain't got no time for hockey, bro.
That's more Gale than me. I got time for Tortorella. I like the new head coach.
I love him.
I've always been a Tortorella fan. I've always been a fan. Besides him playing for the Rangers, coaching the Rangers, I've always been a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Eagle sessions 24/7, 365 days a year. Oh, always Eagles. I just want to go back with one. I just want to go back to one point about you guys talking about the growth, sort of, or Kayvon Wallace.
Kayvon Wallace. He's lacking the growth.
His tweet. And a lot of people talk about some of his tweets. His recent tweet was, "Y'all expect me to be great, so I can't be mad. It's all love. I love you all." That's almost maturity for him. That's a mature tweet.
I like that tweet.
But no, it's not maturity. He gets it. It's like everybody who had their ass on their shoulder about y'all just criticize. Motherfucker, you giving us something to criticize you about. Take the criticism and get better. Get your bitch ass out of here. I don't want to hear you bitching them on it. You don't bitch them on Tuesday morning. You know what Tuesday morning is? That's when you go pick up that check. You aimlessly go pick up that check without regret. Shut the fuck up and take the criticism.
Yo, Hollis, what's the worst criticism you got from a fan where you got very annoyed and he took it to heart?
I've never taken anything that if somebody gives me some critique, I always take it. I always take it in.
You got to throw it in there. There it is.
And he's following behind me because
look how unbothered though.
Yeah, because Jason Devine had the fucking rule book and he was on the field. On the field with his team.
I like, won't let that go.
I know because he wouldn't let. He's like, it says right here in the rule book. I was like, but you won't give us the rule book, Dick Cheney. But not. It's like it's kind of like you said, when the fan gives you critique, it's like you take it with a grain of salt because they pay to come see you play. But I think some guys feel like they're telling you how to do your job. They're not telling you how to do your job. They're telling you what you didn't do, and they know what you're supposed to do, but they tell you what you didn't do, and you can either accept it or get into a different field because it's never going to change.
It's the truth. We're not telling him how to do the job. We're just telling him do your job.
Do your job. Yeah.
Like just do your job. That's it.
No, I mean, and that's, and I don't mean to dogpile on Kayvon Wallace, but like it's great that he is showing maturity and acknowledging that he needs to be better. But that's only half the battle, man. Now you need to go be better. You don't get a pat on the back just for saying the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You get a pat on the back for doing the right thing.
But see, now this is where you got to give him a chance to go do the right thing.
100%.
He said the right thing, but see, you just added the part where if he'd have came back after he didn't do the right thing again, and say, yeah, you keep saying the right thing, but you're not doing the right thing. And what is this? His third year? He should be the guy by now. It's like he's going to be a special teams demon pretty much the rest of his days. You know who? I'm still not taking anything back. Singleton. I watched Singleton play. I was like, what was all this tenacity at when you were here?
I saw him play. I saw him play last night, and he had a game, man. He had a game.
What about a guy like Nelson Aguilar though? It took him like 5 years to snap into focus. I mean, it's not like he stayed in focus for very long, but I mean that Super Bowl year, dude, he was crucial.
Hey, as long as he got us that Super Bowl,
that was your 5, bro.
Cool.
But you know the funny part about that is like that next year when when he missed that touchdown, that clear touchdown pass to Atlanta, and
I was there. I remember it. Yeah.
Yes, I was there too. I was like, son of a bitch, he's going back to his old school stuff, huh? Motherfucker. But it's like, hey, it's somebody else's problem now. It's like one of those things where you think that somebody gets it, but then they revert back to what they're doing, and then just realize that's what they're going to be. You can count on them for the most part. I was like, but you can't. It's not in that kind of time for the most part. You got to hold your nuts when you throw it to him because it's like, is he going to catch it? Oh, okay, he caught it. But then you got to realize the routine catches. He's probably going to miss one of them. Kind of like the CD Lamb. I was laughing because Shannon Sharp was talking about him. He's like his favorite candy bar is Butterfinger, and they were playing against the Giants, and one hit him like right in his fucking hands, and it went clean through. And I couldn't stop laughing because the next thing you know, he was catching a one-hander in the end zone. It's like he's kind of, in essence, he's kind of like a defensive back can't make the routine catches, but the ones with the high degree of difficulty they make like their routine. So. It was just pretty funny to me.
Just real quickly, getting back to the game, one more point that I wanted to kind of make that was another clear difference maker in the game to me was the penalties. I mean, the Cowboys fans will tell you that they got screwed, but the way that I look at it is the Eagles played much more disciplined football than the Cowboys did. And then they're going to sit here and say they got screwed, but then they go out, they're attacking Kelsey. You have the Trayvon Diggs having a full-on temper tantrum in the end zone.
In the end zone, and that should have been
taking his helmet off. If you just look at the word of the law of the NFL, if you take your helmet off on the field, that's a penalty. So I don't know. Not only that,
if you take your helmet off in anger, the way he took it up when he threw his temper tantrum. Not only that, they got away with a lot of fucking holding calls. Because that, and I said this.
The Eagles did. You're saying?
No, talking about with the Cowgirl, because that offensive line come out like this. If you can't see my hands, that you're already primed to hold. Prime, you see that? They come out like this, but like this, but hands like this. They were grabbing our guys, hugging them like it was Thanksgiving. I hate that shit, and that's why I say you got to be violent with your hands and make the referees make those calls. Because right now, I saw a show where Troy Vincent was explaining that they're backing the officials on the roughing the passer penalties, and I don't. It's like Troy is my boy, but I can't back stupidity. That's an embarrassment to the game. The roughing the penalty passer penalties that we saw over this past weekend, and even one of the ones in the game in the game. I was like, what the fuck do you want the defender to do? But it's like it's a basic tackle, and they talking about something. He's whipping them down on the ground. Isn't he the highest paid fucker on the team?
Yeah,
and he can't take a textbook tackle. They need to get rid of that right now.
But yeah, those penalties were Dallas had 10 to the Eagles 2 to 72 yards. They gave the Eagles to our 10. And to Bob's point here, he's right. I mean, CeeDee Lamb did have that first down, but Mike McCarthy screwed up big time.
I do want to give a hat tip to Sirianni. I don't think we talk about. talk about him enough. I think
yeah, fuck you.
You talk about you go all the way back to his flower speech and all the you got ridiculed for that. You talk about the beat
I still
Dallas
wear my
shirt.
flower.
I think the progression that's the thing that you like to see in your players, obviously in your young coach I think he's coming into his own. I felt like, even him being Chip Away on the sideline and Fletcher Cox being behind him, like, okay, coach. I like that. I think he's got this team going the right direction heading into the bye. Sometimes, your team's a little lumped up, got some losses under your belt. You got a 6-0 team. There some guys have got injured and then come back. This is a perfect time for a bye. I think the messaging. What do you think the messaging is from Coach Sirianni to this team going into the bye?
To me, it would just be reiterating what he said a few weeks ago. I mean, this is a 17-round fight, and we're 6 rounds in right now. You just got to settle down in the corner. We got a nice little break, wipe off the blood, wipe off the sweat, and get up fighting for round 7, man.
I mean, it's pretty much that's pretty much the the best way to go ahead and put it, man. Like, yeah, take this bye week and enjoy it. Relax the body. You know what I mean? Because we got 9 more rounds to go. And we got one focus, and that's to get all the way back to the top. So yeah, just take the time, enjoy it. Be smart, be safe, and let's come back and let's just pick up where we left off, and then be even more aggressive. We talk week in and week out that we leave a lot on the table. Now it's time to gather all that's left on the table and bring it out, man, because we got to see those 3 teams in our division one more time, and we got some good competition coming up. But I'm gonna go ahead and reiterate, and I probably speak for all of us when I say I'm not scared of nobody the rest of the way. Nobody at all. So now come back, and let's go ahead and let's run this table like we had planned on doing.
My thing is the first. I was just gonna say my thing is I think he came out and said let's go over the mistakes we made in this past game, put that one behind us, be safe. Remember what the goal is, because everybody has a goal to win the Super Bowl at the end, but you take it one step at a time. The bye week is just another step of let's get back healthy, let's get back and sew up some of the things that we haven't had time to sew up, as far as like mistakes and becoming an error-free team, and that's pretty much it. Health is going to be the main thing, and stay the fuck out of trouble. Don't go do nothing fucking stupid. Don't.
And if you do, have Dom on speed dial.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to have Dom on speed dial, but you should. It's like, but you relax and enjoy the start, but know that we're not done. BDP, we're not done.
I think he's got these guys firing on all cylinders. I think the mental part of the game, I think he's really getting into their heads about how to because you got a championship level team in here. There's a lot of, we talked about the Batmans in here, and we talked about the egos and the egos in the locker room. I think he's got them all gelled together, and I think the one common denominator of like bringing them all together is Jalen Hurts. I think his messaging to the team is on point every week. I think he's a guy that he believes what he's saying, and I feel like the team is just really falling in line. So I think overall, I think going into the bye, I think they got to feel good about themselves. I think they got some time off, spend some time with some family. I think on the podcast, we might spend some time with the family. Any big plans for the bye week?
Ireland and Scotland. I'll be going over there.
Fucking show off.
I'll leave Friday for Dublin, Ireland, and be going over there for some Eagles fans over there. A bunch of them over there. I was supposed to go before the pandemic, but I'm going to. They reset it for the Eagles bye week. My boy Ian, he's probably watching us, but he's like, but it's gonna be awesome. I'll send back pictures.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll hang out in the Irish section of Philadelphia. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not. I'm not going to the Irish section of Philadelphia. Not to like.
I'm saying myself because I'm not going to Ireland.
I got to say the one thing that's definitely great about this season and why I feel so confident because the stars are lined up for me, especially, being one to say that I really am confident that these guys were going to go 6-0, and they proved it. And then now going into the bye week, it falls on my wife's birthday. So there's no Eagles being involved. There's no tailgating being involved. There's no me going away being involved. So I can play the perfect scenario and celebrate her birthday this year with no issues, no problems.
Somebody's
right.
brown nosing.
Yeah, that's all right. You can call it whatever you want to. I admit to it, but I mean, it's just like it's set up perfectly. So, I plan on being with the wife, celebrating her birthday this weekend, and probably actually go and show my brother some love, since he's feeling down, and go watch some football.
No.
I mean, hey, listen, man.
I want
brotherly love.
Yeah, brotherly love. Just clap when the
birthday,
Cowboys lose to the Lions.
Happy birthday, Adam. But I don't know about your bro. Your bro got a nice little visit to the link to watch it lose live. Last minute, we got some Bud Light tickets, and he came down and got to see his team lose live. So I appreciate you watching your team lose. I love you, bro. I do love you.
It's a shame that my niece had to suffer, bro.
I saw her face. I was like, y'all get out of here. Y'all get out of here. I'm going to
like that. Good.
Yeah, true. It's not about it's about how she's being raised. I'm going out Dewey Beach. Shout out to my girl. We're gonna go down there and have a just chill time, man. It's not like I could swim down there, but I just need some peace and some quiet. After that last tailgate, bro, I can't even. I just need some quiet, bro. I was running around left and right. I'm just geeked about I just feel like we're on vacation right now. And we have the Phillies to support. They're 1-0 right now. They're throwing one. It's one up. They're 1-1.
1-0.
Yep,
okay.
1-0. Bryce Harper home run.
Sixers are down by 10 right now. Sixers are down by 10, but
yeah,
it's all good.
It's all good. Celtics. It's a bit of a buzzsaw, but
One final thing before we get out of here. We were just talking about Nick Sirianni and showing him some love. I want to take a step back and look at it from a more macro lens. Let's acknowledge, and this tastes like vinegar coming out. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But really,
let's
sound like a shitty take coming.
Let's acknowledge it.
God. I'm about to take out my earpiece.
Let's acknowledge the ownership, bro. I mean,
okay. Now I thought you was going somewhere else. I love my boy Jeff. Jeff is my guy.
Listen, when we first, the past two coaches that we hired, my initial thoughts was total goofball. Doug Peterson, Nick Sirianni. My first impression was this guy's a goof. I've grown to love each of them. I loved Doug Peterson. He brought us our first Super Bowl. I love Nick Sirianni. He also brought in Andy Reid, who was another all-time head coach. Chip Kelly is the one bad apple in that whole thing. So
he listened to you. You said go get him.
I feel like we need to acknowledge the fact that while I sit here and I feel like they don't do their due diligence when they go and get a new head coach, they actually do. I like the guys that they brought in. What say you, Gail?
No, I think they did a great job. I think I know that they got their Fisher Price head coach, someone that they could
that they could show some respect to Mr. 6-0 right now.
No, but I'm saying as in if you remember my Fisher Price phrasing, that they have the training wheels on him, that they can guide him to where they want to go. And I feel like they got their perfect match. Not every head coach wants to come in here and have this.
They got their Stepford. You look the word you're looking for is Stepford coach.
Yeah,
wife. They personally they can control. If that's the word you're looking for, yes, they got a guy that they can control. But the one thing that I will say is that Howie is starting to get the picking of the players correctly, and that you're not just going after people who like guys who are fucking head scratchers. You're not going after the Danny Watkins, the fucking Andre Dillards. It's like that people are like the Jalen Reagor. How soon we forget that? Huh? Yeah, and you're starting to turn that into goal, and you're starting, and so coaches will want to come here, even though it's like he said, the Fisher Price, because it's unlike any other institution, but it seems they slowly but surely gotten it correct now.
No, I do,
because we're 6-0. Winning covers all the shit. with roses. So
I do like to think they have a nice little collective group. Like I feel like they got a groove. If they got the draft department on the same page, that's a blessing. That's even better.
yeah,
So I feel like
because I don't want to see no more fake fist bumps in the fucking war room because we drafted Milton. We drafted Milton and we should have drafted the kid out of NC State. I don't.
Yeah.
And then the next day, that guy is no longer there because he didn't do the fake fist bump. It's like, oh, he took a leave of absence. Yeah, right.
Man, look,
a lot of people get caught up in the Harry Roseman buzzsaw, bro.
You hear that man talk about flowers all the time. At the end of the day, it's like I think he was pretty much talking about himself. I think he was talking about him being in his own garden, him blooming. You know what I mean? Like him actually getting the fan base, the coaching staff, the management to believe in him. So I mean, like that's how I look at it. I mean, we had to give it time. I mean, we were all, we had all our ups and downs about him, but I mean, right now, the man is on fire, and he definitely has all our attention. So I'm happy for him.
I like that. Hey, look at I found this photo. I was trying to work it in somehow on the show. But look at a dude Delicious over here. Mad. If you call
what the hell
Hollis
were you
Delicious,
thinking about right there?
That was,
you listening to Meek Mill in your head?
You call me Delicious? Who called me Delicious?
Who the fuck called me Delicious? That was actually the NFC Championship game when I was playing with the Saints and we were in Chicago, and we let Sexy Rexy beat us the fuck out. It was a cool game, but it was actually one of the pictures that everybody loved for some odd reason. As you can see, I still have my line in this stuff.
He still had my line.
See, it was before the farewell tour began.
This man is seasoned over here, like roasting over here.
It was cold out there, and I was hot. I was on En Fuego, the muy caliente.
So before we get out of here,
before we get out of here, I just have one last thing to say about. I love going into the bye, especially undefeated, but also it gives you a chance to enjoy everybody else getting their ass kicked around the NFL. It gives you a chance to walk around with your chest out, and and then come back ready to get it started. But I was like, the one thing that I don't want the guys to do is to go and fuck something up, or Deshaun Watson or whoever the fuck Alvin Kamara things up and get into trouble and stuff. And that's the one thing that you tend to worry about when you on a team with 50 plus people, because unlike basketball, it's a small group of people and they can pretty much keep an eye on everybody. It's hard to keep an eye on them to 60 motherfuckers. So just keep their nose clean. I'm gonna enjoy the bye by watching some playoff baseball for the first time in a while, and some Sixers play, and the Flyers, and the Union. I know that's unpopular, the Union thing, but they're in the playoffs as well.
Present.
So
Primo?
I'm just gonna enjoy Philly sports until my birds come back.
I mean, 6-0. What more can you ask for? I mean, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to watching the rest of the NFL teams pretty much beat up on themselves. Rooting for any team that's playing against the Giants, Cowboys, and the Commanders this weekend. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, just like what you reiterate what you just said. Hope players just play it smart. Just stay home, rest that body, or hit the machines that's going to go ahead and get you back to 100%, whatever. But just be smart about it, and look forward to the rest of the season, because we need to stay healthy. We need to keep on being aggressive, and we need to play as a team, as a family, and that's what you guys got going on right now, and we got to continue that. So the chemistry that's in that locker room, the chemistry that they bring to that field every single weekend, I'm loving it, and I hope to God they just continue it, man. Like nothing should be getting in our way. So again, I'm gonna reiterate one more time, I'm not afraid of anybody. So bring it on, bring everybody on. I'm ready for them. They're ready for them. And, at the end of the day, we're going to be at the top of that mountain once again, man. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Just to answer Jason's question real quick. Hold on. I'm getting word that after the bye week, he'll be all right. I wouldn't stress about it. Concussion, that's the thing that you take a couple weeks, you'd be all right. As long as you're not Tua and you're being rushed back out there, do the proper protocol, you'll be all good. But just to juggle off or piggyback off what Prime just said, man. 6-0. I didn't think we'd be here, man. I was expecting a good season, but I think Mal was the only one that had this us at 6-0 with the bye week here. It's a crazy time to be a Philadelphia sports fan as a whole. Let's go Phillies, bro. Let's go Sixers. Let's go Flyers. And we'll see you guys after the bye. Looking forward to a break.
I did have them 6-0 up at this point. But
pull the tape.
But talk about trips. I talked about going to Dewey Beach. Prime's going to hang out with fam. Tank's going over to Ireland.
And
but
Scotland.
if in Scotland. But if you talk about trips, big shout out to Philly Sports Trips. If you're trying to go on to some of these away games, they got some upcoming games up that you want to check out and go support your birds. That's what you got to do. You got to go on the road, support your birds. Shout out to Philly Sports Trips. They can get it done. They're the best in the business, and that's why we rock with them. Such great vibes.
My bad. One more thing, Gail. Just also mention that, not only do they go and see the birds, they also follow these other, Philly teams. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Phillies,
if you guys
Sixers,
tune in for Phillies games, Union, especially people that are into soccer, they do all that stuff. But I mean, we're here dedicated talking about the Eagles, but understand that they do extracurricular events as well. So if you guys are really interested, go check them out. They'll make it happen for a Phillies game. They'll make it happen for a Union game. Maybe I'll speak it to existence. Maybe they'll make something happen for Sixers, Flyers game, something like that.
But it's of all the Philly travel companies, it's the best one in the biz, bro. You're staying the best hotel out of any of them. You're gonna have the best event.
Damn, Skippy.
Check out Philly Sports.
And houses like they have the most delicious meats.
Yeah, well, the most delicious food known to man. Pause on the meats.
But also just want to shout out to Bud Light again for powering the tailgate, man. You guys have been phenomenal supporting us for the last 6 years. Shout out to Conchi Bakery also supporting us in that lifetime. And shout out to all you Eagle fans that showed up. It's always great to meet your face and talk to you and figure out who you are as people and why you are Birds fans. Yeah, that's the best part of being at a tailgate, meeting people, and they tell you why they listen. And we appreciate you guys.
You started to try to make me misty.
Hey man, it's always a good vibe.
And the Flyers just won.
Flyers just won. Wow, look at that.
In your face.
Okay.
All right. Shout out to you, Bruce, for subscribing, my guy.
Thanks, Bruce Banner.
Go Birds.
Also shout out to Jesse Wines, who has been helping us out with our branding. If you need anything creative done, this guy's been putting in work for us behind the scenes. Check out our new header on YouTube. You might like it.
Pause.
But other than that, man, enjoy the rest of the Sixers game. It's the fourth quarter. You got one quarter left. You can read on in the Phillies.
Let me get to it.
Okay.
See you guys in the next one.
We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly. Go.